Hey guys, Joe, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast here. Joined this afternoon by Slop of Odds Checker. Slop, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
It's going good. Weather is beautiful here in the YYC area. For anyone who doesn't know what YYC means, that stands for Calgary. Airport code. We always say it. I don't know why.
Okay.
How's
Calgary?
the weather there?
It's raining. It's been raining all day, and
Oh.
my kids are out of school, and they're in the house, and it's killing me. Other than that, it's great.
Other than that, fantastic. Send them out to jump in some puddles. There's nothing better than getting muddy as a kid.
Yeah, but then they get the house muddy, and yeah, it's a whole thing.
Would be a whole thing. Tell them to hose off before they come in, Slop. I'm excited. We're going to be talking some MLB strikeout props in a little bit here. But before we get started into that, I want to hear how you got started in this industry.
I really don't know. I was writing, game write-ups like for my bets and my blog, and then tweeting links to it, and then started getting a following. People started, going to it, interacting more on Twitter. Next thing you know, I'm writing for a few different sites, and then Odds Checker came along and was like, "Hey, do you want to work for us?" I was like, "Yep," and that's it.
Nice. So
Yeah.
where did the original passion and love for sports and betting come from?
I love to gamble.
Okay.
It's just always too. It's been a long, long time. So I'm just glad it's legal now because it was not at one point. But no, I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, I've always loved betting on games. I mean, when I think I was in like second grade, and I'm looking at like the standings in the newspaper, and like you could see lines, and I remember
Yeah.
getting explained to me by my dad, and it's like, really, like you can just bet, and from then on, it was something you wanted to think about.
So was your dad a big better then?
No, not at all. He was like I
Okay.
said, he was just more of like because I was like, what does -6 mean next to the Cowboys? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he explained it. I was like, really? Like that's a thing. And then I mean, I didn't start gambling when I was in second grade, but I mean, like, that was the first time I remember actually thinking about it and just being like, wow, like so that's a thing, huh?
Now, did you come from a competitive family where it was kind of like, Dad, if the Cowboys win, I don't have to cut the grass this week? Like,
Kind of. I was a Cowboys fan actually when I was a kid, and my
okay.
dad, we lived in South Florida, so he was a Dolphins fan. And that wasn't great. But one night they played. I was like very young. They played on Monday Night Football. He let me stay up, and him and his buddies were over, and the Cowboys actually won. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. The Dolphins won. It was
Yeah.
28-21 was the final of this game, but they were like talking trash like the whole time. I'm like, buddy, I'm at like 8. You know what I mean? Like I'm just happy to be
Yeah.
awake here, and
Yeah.
you guys are like, taking it a little far. So, anyways, I decided then that the next team that beat the Dolphins, I was going to be a fan of, and that was the Los Angeles Raiders. At the time, they were the LA Raiders,
Yeah.
and they stomped them. It was like, I mean, it was like 45 something. Dad was pissed. I was like, man, this is my team. So I was a Raider fan for a long time because of that. So I guess we were competitive.
Okay. I love that. Still a Raiders fan? Because, I'm a
No,
Chargers fan, if you couldn't tell by the colors
no.
of my set.
No, that's a sweet colors, by the way. They do have
Thank
some
you.
sweet colors. But no, I'm sports betting kind of it drains like the fandom out of you after a while to the point where I don't care really who wins.
Yeah.
Especially now with player props, like I couldn't care less.
Absolutely. Now, if you did have a favorite team, though, you would be able to bet against them, correct?
Yeah, yeah. If I mean, the Patriots are pretty much my team now. I live outside of Boston. I've been here for like 12 years, maybe, and you just kind of become like a Patriots guy. I'm not diehard or anything like that, so I could definitely bet against them. But it's a lot more fun to bet on them, especially when
Yeah.
they're out around here.
The Patriots are one of those teams, Slop, I got to tell you, I cannot bet for them or against them. We know their winning record when they had Brady, covering that spread like 62% of the time. No matter when I bet on the Patriots with or without Brady, I thought he was my kryptonite. They definitely are my kryptonite. So one team I stay away from. Do you have a team that's kryptonite like that for you that you just stay off?
It always depends on the season. The Patriots are one of those because you can never figure them out. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna roll somebody when you bet against them, and then you bet on them and they get killed. And it's just like I don't get. They're definitely one of my teams.
Yeah, they definitely have some ups and down. Okay, so competitive family, you got into betting early, gambling early. Do you remember the very first bet that you ever made with a book or a bookie?
No, I remember we had these parlay cards. way back in the day. Like, so it was like literally a cardboard as a card, and you
Yeah.
just wrote down what you had. You give your money to the guy, you rip off the bottom, and that was it, you know. But one of them was remember Mike Vick when he ran that long touchdown at the end of it was in overtime. It was against the Vikings. I want to say it was like '03, '04, maybe
Okay.
'02. Like it
Yeah.
was a long time ago. It's one of the highlights of Mike Vick. Like if you see Mike
Yeah.
Vick highlights, that one will come up. That was a 1 o'clock game, and I had already won the other two 1 o'clocks, so I just needed that one to win the parlay. And I didn't win a lot of parlays back then, so like
Yeah.
I was like fired up. I'm like, please, just And back then they went for three. They didn't try to score a touchdown. They just went to kick a field goal.
Yep.
And the Vikings, I think they were 3-point favorites, so it was gonna push. I was still gonna win, but you wanted the three, not the two. And
Absolutely.
sure enough, he ran in and scored out. That was one of my first memories. I can't remember too many before that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely some memories over the years that we do like have stick out in our head. That was a good one for sure. I remember when he got that one in, like you said, highlight reels galore for that. What's your
Mhm.
favorite sport to bet?
Just depends on the season.
Okay.
Like I don't like baseball, right? I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited to be betting baseball, like the pitcher props right now. Like I can do that for the next 6 months if I had to. But
Well,
then once football gets around, now it's going to be football. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it just depends on what season it is.
absolutely. Let's talk some strikeout props. What is your angle when looking at strikeout props, Slow?
Opponents.
Okay.
A lot of some teams just don't strike out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like to look in the last week, last 2 weeks. Teams like the Washington Nationals, like you don't target them. I don't care who's pitching, you just don't. But then the Pittsburgh Pirates, maybe you target them. You know what I mean? So it's based on how they've been doing in the last week or 2 weeks.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, strikeout props is something like I told you before, I really have not dove into. How long have you been betting strikeout props?
A couple of years now, they're
Okay.
relatively new. Like you couldn't just do this back in
Yeah.
I don't know, like 5 years ago even. I don't remember strikeout props, but they're relatively new. They're perfect for summertime. Like so, if you're out, like let's say, all right, Saturday night, we're hanging out. We got my kids have their friends, and it's just the families were around. You can have this. You could be into it for 3 outs, and then your guy goes sits down. So now you're kind of back to mingling and talking. Then now you're back to the TV, for the next whatever it is. So you know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah,
you're not totally involved. Like football bets. Like it's tough to break away. You know what I
it
mean?
is.
Like you're only going to be talking to everybody that's gambling with you. Does that make sense? So it's kind of nice. It's relaxing bet, and then by the fifth inning, sixth inning, you're done. So like game's
Absolutely.
over. Like I have no idea who even wins games. Most
Yeah.
I'm gone by then.
Yeah,
So
you've
there,
made your
there
money, you can put it on another game as well at that point.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's a great summer bet.
Yeah. I love
Mhm.
it. Something I'm definitely going to look into more. For people just looking to get into some strikeout props, what advice would you give them?
Be careful of juice.
Okay.
Like you're gonna see guys that are 3.5, like minus 170. Like it's tough. Like find teams that strike out and try to stay away from anything over minus 150. Like I still do it sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but like for the first when you're first starting out, look for just plus money lines. To be honest with you, that's probably the best thing to do. And then kind of then you can kind of move into the minus 105, minus 110s because the juice can get crazy on these.
Definitely some great advice there. Never like paying too much juice.
No.
Okay. Let's look at today. Is there any strikeout props that you're looking at for the viewers for today?
The only one that I love is George Kirby over 5.5. He was plus 105 earlier. I'm not sure what he is right now. Can't be much more than that, though. He's got the Orioles tonight. Over the last week, they've struck out 63 times and 199 at bats. So that's definitely a team you want to kind of target right there.
Okay.
And then from there, you want to go and look at the individual players and try to figure out who's going to be in the lineup. It looks like there's a chance 8 guys could be in the lineup tonight that are 30+% strikeout guys over the last week. Like
Ooh.
that's crazy. Like that's really high. Like you don't even see that. So
Yeah.
you're getting help there. We don't know who the ump's going to be. That's kind of something you want to maybe looked into. Like I do, but I don't put that much stock into it. But sometimes you find a little edge there. But that feels right to me. He's normally a 4.5 strikeout guy, not 5.5. So there is that to consider. But he's got 6 in his last 2 games, so he can definitely get up there if he needs to.
Okay. Well, that is a great prop. I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to tail it. It will be my first ever strikeout
Nice.
prop I'm going to bet. So
feeling pressure.
Thank you, Slop. I'm excited. I'm riding with you on this one. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do with Odds Checker?
I write about my bets. I also have a column, the Strikeout watch list that comes out Monday through Friday. If there's ladder opportunities, at FanDuel, you know how you can do 5+ strikeouts, 6+, 7+, all that. Well, if there's ladder opportunities for some of these guys, then we'll write about that. But they're a site that have a lot of tools for bettors, and I don't know, some of the better handicappers I've seen are constantly getting picked up by them. So building a little army over there.
Nice. Great army, great team that you are a part of. Where can people find you on socials if they're looking to connect?
At Slop Rules on Twitter. Twitter's my best one. At Slop Rules on Instagram, but my Instagram game is very weak. I don't really understand that platform at all. Like, I'm kind of old, I guess. Maybe that's why I just don't get it. But you can follow me there if you want.
Okay. Well, definitely go check it out. No TikTok yet, Slop?
No TikTok. No TikTok. I'm working on my dance move, so maybe one day.
Get those dance moves down, and then we can't wait to see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. It was a pleasure to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.